More and more digital processes are taking the value chain by storm. A holistic security strategy and architecture is required to ensure smooth business operations, data integrity, and of course also productivity. Companies must ensure that data, applications, and users are protected by comprehensive security measures. So that's the situation. Welcome to our podcast. My name is Andreas. I'm your host today. And we have invited Alexandra, Denis, and Michal to join us today and to discuss different aspects of cybersecurity. So hello and welcome.
Hi.
Perhaps you can introduce yourself to our audience. So let's start with Alexandra, please.
I'm Alexandra Dorčáková. I was head of network security operation teams for 7 years. And previously I was project manager in a cybersecurity company. And I'm happy to be part of your podcast today. So thank you very much for having me here today.
Welcome, Denis.
Yeah, I'm Denis, and I'm Denis Dolinský. I'm a customer security manager nowadays. I went through the different roles in the past in different companies, like a techie guy, to the IT architect, then a bit of security as well, then SDM obviously, because that's a very good job to get as well. And nowadays I'm defending the customers' interests within our company.
And SDM for the audience is service.
Yes, it's service delivery manager.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Michal, hello.
Hello, my name is Michal Majerčák. Actually in the position of head of security department in Košice, and parallelly also operation manager responsible for the security in Košice. And I had longer history in Deutsche Telekom, where previously as a security technician, and then grew up till head of department now. So thanks for inviting me.
Very good. Okay, so let's get started. I would like to quote some statistics, which I was very recently researching. I did this on my mobile phone, and then I wasn't sure if I should have done it on my mobile phone, but let me quote some statistics. So the statistics say that globally 30,000 websites are hacked daily. 64% of companies worldwide have experienced at least one form of cyber attack, and it also says that every 39 seconds there is a new attack out there. So that sounds pretty scary to me. As I said before, probably I shouldn't have researched that on my mobile phone. So is it the big thing? How do you see it? Is it exaggerated? Is it getting even worse? Is it getting better? Please share your views.
Good. So yeah, it's a serious stuff. Yeah. So even from the numbers you just said, and I think I'm pretty much sure that it will grow in the future, and it's connected with the number of devices were connected and will be connected into the internet. The danger or the possibility for cyber attack, for hacking, for whatever stuff will increase. So, and we see now the autonomous cars, all the robots and everything. This is the numbers which you just said. Maybe in reality are even bigger or higher. But there are steps or measures which could be taken to make us more safer, to ensure that we can handle this situation.
So obviously it's a big thing.
Yep.
It also seems it's not getting better. So then let me ask, who are these malicious individuals then outside there? And what are they doing? We will discuss them later on. So I have a picture in my mind, which is partly like Neo and partly like the hacker with the hoodie. Yeah, but who is it really? So is it organized criminals? Is it company spies? Is it perhaps disgruntled employees? Is it insiders? or is it sometimes even just accidental? So what's your experience there, and what kind of people do you see doing that harmful things?
All of them.
All of them. Okay.
Of course, in operation, it could happen that human errors occurs. Sometimes it's even by skilled senior level of IT guys, but it's not happening often comparing to real damage, which is caused by threat or malicious actors. And in the past, it was pretty different. 10 years, 20 years ago, it was more about a challenge for young IT guys who wanted to prove themselves they are capable to hack the systems or crash your password or whatever. And in recent years, it's definitely more about financial aspects. So it's about competitive advantage. It's about money. So and also power, and
Cyber security is basically the protection of internet connected system. I think that's important for our further discussion, such as hardware, software, and data, and protection from cyber threats. And that's the next step we are discussing now. And then we also probably have to define cyber threats, and cyber threats we would consider for this discussion as malicious act that seeks to damage, steal data, or disrupt digital life in general. And then we are already where you were discussing before in terms of data in public. And things like that.
So they demand ransom or money from the victims, and even victims paying a huge amount of money, there is no guarantee that they will give you encryption for your data or give you your operation back up and running. So usually, those are really malicious or threat actors.
So obviously there are not only threats out there, there are real attacks. So let's discuss a little bit what kind of tools are used and what kind of common attack patterns are out there. So wordings are well known from the press, like malware, phishing, ransomware, man in the middle, very fancy. And for me, it's even like ransom, is self-explaining, or WannaCry is even worse, right? In the word is already what's going to happen. So what do you see there? What do you observe? What do you think are the most common attacks you are facing?
Well, it's not a secret that information or the data itself nowadays are the most expensive commodity. So the result of such attack is either denied service to get an advantage or get some time for better results, or money from stolen data. That's obvious. The most common attack would be the phishing attack, where they will phish for your credentials, for your passwords, for your logins. So they could easily get into the system which they should not reside in. So basically they will trick you into some well-crafted web page where you believe it's legitimate, like social media or the portal you like to log in, like online bank. And you will put in your credentials and they are immediately sent over to attackers. So it's pretty easy how to get access to the system. The next threat, most common threat would be the ransomware, where they will just get into your system and either via the phished password or something like that. And they will, once they are in, they can do anything. Obviously, they will steal the data. They will abuse it to steal more data, or they will encrypt it and then ask for ransom. So either you will pay or you will not get the encryption key. So that's better to have the good backup and restore than just to pay ransom and hope for the best. It's not the case. The third might be they will just try and fail the stolen credentials, which they, for example, bought on darknet, the huge databases or leaked accounts and leaked passwords. And they're just trying, and who knows, they might get lucky sometimes because people do not know that they were hacked. So they do not change the password, and the password can be abused. So they are in the system and they can do whatever they like. It was already mentioned. So that's pretty easy.
Pretty easy, but sounds pretty scary to me. Let's discuss further about countermeasures and protection and prevention. So there are obviously the bad ones, if I may say so, but there is also a different side of this discussion. So there are the good ones. I consider you in that round as the good ones. I hope I'm right. Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
So what can we do there? Yeah, what are such kind of countermeasures? And I would like to distinguish between how you do some organizational countermeasures, so how you train, how you make people aware. Yeah? Maybe you can share this a little bit, and then later on we also can discuss briefly about technical countermeasures. Yeah, so let's start with the organizational ones. Yeah, what are you doing, and how do you raise awareness?
Yeah. So, as you already mentioned, the right keyword is the prevention. Yeah. So this is the alpha omega, where by the prevention you can reduce the risk, of any breach. And actually, if you think about what security means, the security starts by each of us starting from the door in the house, for example. So some access management. It is about the security of our network at home. Everyone has Wi-Fi. Everyone has a password for the Wi-Fi. So just think about how the people are managing these things. Yeah, and I'm pretty much sure that the people mostly just get some routers from the telecommunication provider with some default settings, and you can just think about how many people will change the default password on their routers, for example. Yeah, so they don't think that they could be affected, that they could be harmed with this. Yeah, no one is thinking about. And connecting to this also, the people are not thinking they're buying stuff like PCs, like mobile phones, whatever. And no one is thinking about the, let's say, antivirus system or the security of this device, how to protect it, what to do. Yeah, and one thing is buy the product, the security product, antivirus, whatever it is. And the other thing is how to set it up, because it's not set it up to be secure based on my expectation. It's just set it up on default level. And if you want to be really secured, you need to set it properly. Yeah. And within our organization, within each and every big organization, you need to think about also business continuity management. If something big happened, I mean, big in terms of security or whatever, and you are not able to work, or lots of people are not able to work, what to do then? Yeah, to have a plan, to have an action plan, to have some more plans, not just plan A and maybe plan B, but to think about that. And what we are doing in our company is we are giving the colleagues is the training, is the security awareness training. They need to pass through, they need to know what are the cybersecurity threats. The other stuff is for the ops colleagues, for the operational colleagues in the security area. We're doing the fire drills, means real, let's say, test real scenarios, tickets, everything around the security incident by the customers. And then we are not like testing them. We are looking and we are observing how they are behaving based on the training, based on the campaigns, based on the knowledge they know already, how they are behaving, yeah, how quick they are reacting, and so on and so on.
So how is this working? I remember recently we had a discussion about an email to buy some refurbished laptops, and people refused to click on it because they thought it's a phishing campaign.
Yes.
Does it mean no one in your team is buying anything online because they are constantly worried about it, or how is it going?
Yeah, it is the people are already, if you are doing these fire drills more and more, the people are starting to thinking about, should I do it or should I not? Yeah? They are starting to checking the details, which are the most important. To checking the email address from where I get the email, the links, which kind of links are there, and so on. So if you are doing 2 campaigns in a month, and one is like testing one, fire drill ones, and one is the real one, then you see exactly this behavior when the people in the first campaign, the people are clicking because there was It was a campaign about buying iPhones or telephones, whatever, mobile phones. And then came with the laptops, and then the people are thinking, okay, maybe not a good to click here. Maybe then they don't want to buy. Yeah, it could be, but they already thinking about, and acting more securely, because the first campaign was explained what was it about and on what they should take care and look before they click. Yeah.
Which is a good thing then, right? So
that's great.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe I would add that our generation is pretty aware, but we should also work with senior citizens, and there is a huge gap because they are really, it has been increased, and they are really high target for cybercrime. So maybe we should also consider to learn to teach our parents and show them how to respond to scams, how to maybe respond to phishing emails campaign, what is the password hygiene. So that's really big gap in community, and we should consider it.
It's a very good point. Yeah. Okay. Technical countermeasures now, right? Well, there are many, firewalls, anti-spy, antivirus, and things like that. What would you recommend, and what are you actually using? Yeah, and in terms of costs and efforts, so how do you see that currently? Please elaborate a little bit.
Well, if you are well trained and security aware enough, at least you think you are security aware enough, it's essential to protect your endpoint, whatever it is. It's a phone, it's a tablet, it's a PC, it's whatever IoT Internet of Things connected, maybe your smart fridge or something like that. You have to protect it, right? So it's essential to have antivirus protection because it's like a godfather holding your shoulder. So it's showing you if the bad links are over there, if something is downloading onto your computer, which could be malicious. Of course, some of us also do implement home firewalls, which are most of the time implemented already in the mid-size routers. So just to set it up properly, and you have own your home firewall. And also anti-spam systems. Popular are ad blocking systems, content filtering systems, which are really easy to set up because there are services on the internet which are even free of charge. Not to forget, just also to patch your endpoints so they will be up to date, holding back from known vulnerabilities and stuff like this. So that's endpoint protection, what needs to be done, because only awareness itself does not help you, because if you will still click on some bait links and nobody will raise awareness finger,
absolutely,
then you are done anyway.
Now, I'm happy to confirm you can also go into that from another direction. For example, I went into port filtering or blocking because of my kids. Yeah? That not every streaming can be done at any point in time. Okay. Now, I would be curious now about testing. Yeah, if I visualize sort of testing like penetration testing or scans, that's for me like a little bit like social hacking, right? So the good guys are trying to find out what's going wrong, and then probably are happy about it, and then close the security gap or vulnerability. Are you actually doing that, and how are you doing that, and how is it perceived actually? Because I can also imagine that your colleagues are not so happy then if you point that out and you come back and tell them this and this and this cannot be done, and so on and so on. Yeah, please share with us.
The testing and checking of either the knowledge of our people or the setup of our system is, let's say, essential, because that's a part of the circle you cannot miss. So, yes, we are regularly doing penetration testing of our employees if they are still behaving according to the trainings, according to the campaigns they went through. So we are doing those phishing campaigns and count how many clicks we still have so we can uncover the security holes. We still have the gaps. And yes, we are also doing physical building penetration testing. In the past, we ordered a company who was asked to test our employees if they are kind enough to let the intruder in. via the tailgating or something like that because I forgot my ID card. And you know me, we are the colleagues, so why not, right? So both kind of tests are performed within our company, and we are doing pretty well within the results, what I saw.
That's good to hear. Okay, let's. And I would have, by the way, imagined this is so many friendly people there that it's it still works. But okay. Now let's move on in terms of a career path in cybersecurity. So, what can you tell us here? So, how can someone become what I would call a good guy, a cybersecurity specialist, right? So, is it that you need to study computer sciences or system engineering or a similar field? Is it that you need to have long years of practice? Or is it even like that you come from practice, means you might be a former hacker? What are you looking there for? What would you recommend? What is a typical career path you see?
Maybe in general, of course, that's the best scenario to have all those knowledge already. But
very unlikely, I assume, right? Okay.
Yes. So in general, technical background and network knowledge is really important. Then, of course, knowledge about security in general, but it's sometimes really network knowledge about some technology, CCNA, Cisco, whatever, and vendor on the market. Of course, in English language, that's must for every single technician. And then we can help them actually in our company to with career paths. So they can start as, for example, like junior network administrators. And then in a couple of years, they could be architects, for example. So, but in general, it's about analytical thinking, about system approach. So it should be systematic person. And then about technical knowledge about network, if we're talking about operations such. But then, of course, to have ability to hack the systems or penetrate the infrastructure, that's also really good knowledge, but it's really rare on the market currently.
Yeah. If someone from you, I will just make a short promotion. Mm-hmm. If someone from you who listed has found himself in this description and has all this knowledge and skills, just get in touch with us and we will find the right job for you.
At our own interest, right? We are hiring. It's important to mention.
Of course.
I've seen really good hiring campaign. There was one cybersecurity company and they had only one sentence written there. And there was like, if you are able to hack our servers, please upload your CV there. So
please don't do that with us. Just send it.
It's an interesting one. Okay, but it still sounds to me pretty much technical, but I would also assume that there is a couple of other jobs in the broader field of security. So I guess you mentioned sort of audits, right? There are certainly security controls. There are incident managers, security incident managers. And maybe also last but not least, I guess there is something like a security threat intelligence, which I consider a little bit like the CIA of the security area. So can you maybe also tell us a little bit about these other jobs where it might be even also okay to have maybe an economics background or some other background? Yeah.
Start and then maybe you can continue. So I would use same analogy as with medical healthcare. So once you're going to the hospital, you don't have only one role there. You don't have only general medical doctor, but you have also another support functions. So it's same with cybersecurity world. You don't have only one role. So it's in general about diagnosis, prevention, and treatment. So same like both areas. So for diagnosis, we have monitoring of the system. So usually like security managed services. That means security operations centers with administrators, with network architects, with engineers, sometimes product owners, solution designers who are helping to solving problems with customer. If somebody suspicious occurs on the network or in the infrastructure, they should take care about it. Then it's more about prevention. So it's, as mentioned, like penetration testers, about security compliance advisory. So they are trying to advise clients. So they are trying to find the vulnerabilities and fix it and to tell you, okay, you are healthy today, but in a couple of months it could be different. So you should take care. It's your responsibility to take care about your body
right?
and infrastructure consultancy. Yes. Mm-hmm. So security compliance, customer security manager, as Denis is, and also risk management, auditors. That kind of functions, that's really crucial also for prevention and to know where you are. And then emergency ambulance, let's say, it's about immediate action. So once you are attacked, once incident occurs, then they need to act immediately as soon as possible. So it's more like trying to get out people from the emergency room, to take them to the general hospital and give them treatment. So we have incident response people there, digital forensic. They are trying to see from where the attack came, and of course to avoid the situation again for the future. So that's a
very nice analogy. Thank you very much. And then it's probably like also the healthy food is prevention, right? And as you said, to lock the doors properly and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's move on and talk a little bit about culture. We started already a little bit. So I have a picture in mind, and I said this at the beginning, right? And you are already loving, but for me, cybersecurity is somehow Matrix, right? And it's Neo. So first of all, I was surprised that none of you has a black suit and a white shirt. At least I have a white shirt, right? Okay,
just
you
have
a black t-shirt.
Black t-shirt.
And the other picture I have in my mind is the hoodie, right? So people sitting there and you don't see their face and it's dark, but you see the hoodie and then you see a screen with numbers, bits and bytes on it, something like that. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's certainly not reality, but for our audience, also for people who are interested to work in this field, maybe you tell us a little bit what kind of culture, what kind of colleagues, what kind of teams do we have, what kind of characters do we have there? Is it a mixture? Is it more straightforward because people are very, very serious in security? Please share with us.
Yeah, I can share from the angle of security operations people, which I'm leading. And actually, I'm very proud on that people, proud on what they achieved, and proud on them how they behaving. The guys and the ladies are really, really a strong team players and a passionate people in what they are doing. Yeah, so there is no Neo or whatever how they call the guys from the movie, but they are people who are team players, who are sharing, who are learning a new stuff and sharing with the other people. And this is the way how they are growing and the others also. Yeah. So in that team, I see really a strong cooperation, a huge passion and curiosity between the individuals, and then a strong sharing, as I mentioned. Yes, you always have individuals who are maybe more introvert, maybe more extrovert. But I think the mixture there is really great. But yeah, we have also people with hoodies. We have also people with t-shirts and with whatever they are wearing. It's not about the what they are wearing on them, but what they are wearing in their heads, how they are behaving, and how they are working and providing the best quality service to our customers.
Well, obviously, we are not all men in black, as you correctly mentioned, even if it will be really cool. I do work in a virtual team, so it's kind of very similar. The key is to, let's say, see face-to-face at least once a year, even in those times, just to put a real face behind the face in webcam or the voice in the telephone. There is practical security, that cool job everybody seeing, the security analysts which are doing real code analysis or attack vector analysis or threat analysis, or how it behaved, what it had done towards the system. So that's practical security guys, operation guys, which are taking even emergency response, and basically they are saving us from the threat itself and from the attack itself. Then there is another part. There is a security management part, and the guys in a business casual dress code. That's the place where the strategies are born, where the policies are also conducted and processed, obviously. And that kind of mixture needs to work together as one team to bring the results, to protect our customers, our employees, our company overall.
I can picture that pretty nicely now, the mixture. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really important that everybody knows how to respond, how to react, and then how to recover. Because are you able to avoid, for example, like the similar situation to get a cold? Not really, but you need to recover soon and to know how to respond. So that culture is really like about sharing knowledge and information, and it's really pretty nice environment actually for that purpose.
Where I also not only assume, I know that you have really good processes to share this knowledge and do this threat intelligence, right? So I would like to come back to my question before we wrap up now, and wanted to ask you, you are all working in the fields of security, you have been working since long, and we were talking about culture. So then personal, yeah, what pulled you into that, and what is your passion in that area? Yeah, perhaps you want to start with Alexandra.
Yeah, it was really nice 7 years in operation with our colleagues, and I would say it's really passionate atmosphere in team. And especially, I was surprised that during pandemic they share even more, because via virtual platforms or remote access they were sharing monitors and screens. So it was really really nice to see it, that it was really about sharing, as I mentioned. So it was really about helping younger colleagues, and that's really nice to see how they cooperate together and how passionate they are.
As I mentioned in the very beginning, I came through different roles as a techie guy to the IT architect, even service delivery, up to security management. So that was my career path, and that's not really impossible to follow, because everybody who is passionate within the operation system, networks, databases, application, and so on, next possible step, if they are really hungry up to information, they have enough of operation, let's say, that's pretty easy job for them. Next possible step could be security, because they already know the level below. So they already know how to set it up, so they know then how to protect it. And that's very good, because the technical background in those kind of roles, what we have, it's a big advantage.
And now you're doing the top, which is security podcasts, right? Okay. And Michal, how about you?
Yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning, I started as a technician. And actually, I need to say, not the IT skill, not my IT skills, but my language skills moved me into the management way or managerial way. And the passionate and the curiosity as the main driver. My driver was for sure, these two were for sure the main driver and brought me where I am now. And I was a functional leader in the security, and what I missed was exactly this touch with the people, this people management and so on, because it's differently from the position of functional manager, just asking and requesting.
Okay. Thank you very much. That brings us now already to an end of our session. We were talking about cybersecurity. Is it a big thing? We were talking about the malicious individuals, and their attack vectors, their methods. We were also talking a little bit about countermeasures, technical, organizational, functional ones, and most important, I guess, we were talking about how to become a cybersecurity expert. And last but not least, is there something like a cybersecurity culture? So I hope there was something in for you. If you want us to discuss a certain topic at greater detail or to follow up on a specific, please let us know. Put your comment below. I would like to thank you very much for joining us today. I wish you all the best for your further security journey. Beware of the dark side, right? And hope to see you again in the next session. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay cool. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Take care. Bye-bye.